10 things that if 2 or 3 of these things happen to you in a short period of time, for the stress related to it would likely put you in the hospital. It's stuff like filing bankruptcy or getting a divorce or the death of a child or having your house burned down. One of the most stressful and emotionally, it's one of the top 10 stressful and emotionally draining things that can happen. It's your home, it's your memories, it's your stuff that gives you comfort, your wedding pictures, your baby pictures, etc., etc. The videos of Christmases from 10 years ago. If you hadn't backed them up somewhere and your house burns down, they're gone. 14,000 homes. That's more homes than a lot of you have in your community. It'd be like your entire community. Our county that we're in, I bet, doesn't have 14,000 homes. It might, but I don't know. But that's like wiping out an entire county in some areas. That's what's happened in California. The Camp Fire is California's deadliest, most destructive wildfire in history. The news channels have moved on and they're talking about other things. They find something trivial in politics to go bananas over. 14,000 homes are gone. 85 people have been killed at least. There's 296 people still unaccounted for. It's 153,000 acres destroyed by fire. The Woolsey Fire in Southern California, destructive as well. Napa last year got it as well. This is a really devastating hit. I mean, this is like Katrina hitting the Gulf Coast, hitting Texas. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The devastation is so thorough, and it leaves folks just in a kind of emotional shock. And we certainly are praying for you guys. We understand what you're facing. And I'm starting to get a handful of questions coming in by email from people in that area. And so what do you do if you face complete destruction in a hurricane, fire, or some kind of tornado, those kinds of situations? What do you do in those situations? Because it's not like your 3 to 6 months emergency fund is going to take care of all that, right? Hopefully, you're in a position with that kind of destruction that you have insurance. And hopefully the insurance company, that they generally load up, entire truckloads of claims adjusters to go to these areas. A lot of them are subcontracted even because they move around and do this. But they're trying, and a lot of them are trying to do a good job, and some of them aren't trying to do a good job. So what do you do if the insurance company isn't cooperating? Well, the first thing you're going to do, obviously, is document every step of the way and the number of contacts you've had with them, and continue to climb the ladder up into the supervisors and so forth to try to get, your basic needs covered, because they're required to cover that in almost every policy. If ultimately you cannot get your insurance company on a homeowner's claim of this size to behave, you've kind of got two options. You can get an independent claims adjuster that works for you and get them to work on your behalf, or hire an attorney. Now, what you've got to do in these situations where they get you, and honestly, I've been around the fires, not where there's 14,000 homes knocked out, but where a customer has lost a home, and they've gotten us involved from the financial coaching perspective enough to know that, sadly, the insurance companies, they really do not intend to pay out everything that's due. And you pretty much have to make them in a lot of cases. Now, there's some of them that do a good job, but I think if you assume right off the bat that you're dealing with rattlesnakes, it'll keep you from being bitten. You can still be nice and kind and all that, and you can be persistent, but I think you assume that there's things that you don't know. So a certified public adjuster is one way to get some representation on your side. But listen, you've got to go back, and if you have any copies of videos, if you videoed the inside of your house, for instance, for inventory purposes, which is always a good idea for everyone to do, and you keep that off-site at your bank, or keep it somewhere other than that. And a fireproof safe doesn't work in a fire of this type. A fire of this type is so hot, it'll melt a safe, okay? I mean, you're not going to go in there and find video that works in something that got that hot. It's not going to work. I mean, a hard item might survive inside a safe like that, but it's not going to. You're not going to find video that's gotten that hot, and it works. So anyway, the point is you've got to make detailed, copious lists of everything. And you just sit and think of everything in every closet, on every wall, every nook and cranny. Every item is covered. And then, once we get the check, how do we best use the insurance money? Well, you've got to decide if you're going to rebuild or not. If you had a mortgage on the property, the check will be made out. If you had a mortgage on your home, the check will be made out to you and the mortgage company. And it'll be used to rebuild. You'll be hiring a contractor in conjunction with your insurance company to rebuild. Or it's used to pay off the mortgage if you want to do that and you own a lot. You own a subdivision lot, which a lot of people will own a lot of subdivision lots, so not going to be that great a thing to have that right now. Dave, should we take out the FEMA loans if we need to? Only as an absolute last resort. Try to do everything to avoid that. It sounds like it's wonderful, but it is a loan, and it has to be paid back, and it'll bite you later. If our mortgage company offers forbearance, should we take it? Only if you have to, because all they're doing is delaying the inevitable, which is payments. The payments are put on the back end. So it's kind of like borrowing money. So if you can pay your payments, keep paying your payments.